Hey guys, welcome to Nerd Out Gaming. Today I have some footage of me playing my Holy Paladin with an Affliction Warlock. We did pretty good. We only lost a few games, and here are some of the highlights of those games. I'll go ahead and do a little bit of commentary as we're playing here. Sorry, the first match my mic wasn't muted, so you will hear me hitting the keys.
Berserker range. Trinketed. Big heal.
Okay, so the Warlock is primarily targeting the healer in this comp right now. He is putting dots, like double dotting, so he's putting out damage on both the healer and the DPS, which is causing them to have to heal both. I bubble right there and I run down the side just to be sure that he doesn't Shattering Throw me.
Spell reflection.
At this point of the match, it's pretty even. Could go any way right now. Throw a Hodge on the healer there. He gets a fear immediately after, and the Paladin has to bubble, but it's pretty much too late, and the Affliction Lock gets the kill right there.
Bubble down.
And the Paladin pretty much just gives up at this point, and then he leaves. So this next team, it's a mage and a feral druid. It's a pretty decent composition. They do a lot of damage. You want to stay behind the crates. Anytime it's double DPS and you're on this map as a healer, pretty much as a caster, you want to stay near the crates. Notice how the lock puts his port to the side of the crate there. So if he gets in trouble, he's going to port back to me. So they open on the lock as expected. I throw a freedom on the lock. I'm trying to stay behind the crate so I don't get cyclone, but I do anyways.
Skull bash. Ice block. Trinket. Ice block down. Deep freeze.
Putting a lot of pressure on the lock right now.
Ring of frost.
Trying to save my cooldowns as long as I can.
Predator swiftness. Cyclone.
Get a quick heal before I get cyclone there, which was really good. I hodged the mage right there just to kind of slow him down so the lock can put some extra pressure out. The druid runs away to try to heal or something, but he comes back to help out with the mage. I run over to try to interrupt the evocation, but I'm a little too late there.
Predator swiftness.
You always want to dispel roots if possible. I trinket the deep freeze. And the lock gets a kill on the mage.
Survival instinct. Regeneration. In range.
For whatever reason, the druid decides to stay. So we just burn him down here. I throw a Hodge on him. Okay, so this next team, it's a hunter and a ret paladin. These guys do a lot of burst damage. They use the repentance on me. I'm stunned here. So I trinket the repentance. I get scattered. I missed the trap, which was good.
Freezing trap.
I should have probably put the sacrifice on the lock at the start so it would break an ECC.
Rapid fire.
Get the ret really low and he gets his heal off for like a ton. So he's back to almost full. Put some pressure on the hunter here.
Freedom.
I get
Freedom
scattered
shot.
into a trap with no trinket, so I bubble.
Freedom trap.
You always want to use your cooldowns liberally with a double DPS team.
Divine shield.
The other pally also bubbles. They're both really low at this point. I hodge the hunter just to limit his damage.
Bubble down. Rebuke.
I get repentance there at the end as the hunter dies. There were a couple mistakes I made in that, but overall we did pretty good. Alright, so this next team, it's a Ret and a DK. They do a lot of burst damage. I put freedom on the lock right away.
Trinketed.
Trying to stay out of range here so I don't get hodged or something.
Repentance.
I get repentance though.
Rebuke.
I use my sacrifice on the lock here. He's getting hit pretty hard. The Paladin bubbles.
Mind free justice. Bubble
I'm out of range of the lock, so I run in a little bit. I blow my wings there to get the extra healing that it gives you. He strangulates the lock for whatever reason. I'm not too sure.
Icebound.
Maybe to limit damage. I'm not sure why he did that, but DK pops anti-magic shell.
Rebuke.
And they're both going down here. The Ret gets a last second heal off there right before he dies.
Repentance.
I'm getting hit pretty hard here, so I start running away. Get hodged there. I don't have bubble or a trinket, so that's not good, but luckily the lock is able to kill the Ret real quick. Okay, so this last team I wanted to show because it's pretty much a mirror comp, except they have a Resto Shaman. He's not very good, but it's a good example of how to kill a team like with a similar comp to this. This match went on for, I'd say, over half an hour. It was a really long match, so I don't have the full footage, but here's some of the highlights of it.
Hell of Terror. Trinketed.
So initially we're just kind of neck and neck here.
Hell of Terror.
Kind of a boring match, honestly. I hate these really long matches, but it happens when you're playing a healer comp. You run into these from time to time. Unfortunately, I'm not able to dispel many of the fears because of unstable affliction, which will silence me if I do dispel. I do start to notice, though, the shaman isn't juking any heals. A juke is when you start to cast a heal, then stop to try to get someone to attempt to interrupt you, and then it gives you free reign to cast if they do interrupt.
Hikes. Countered. Banish.
So as the match goes on, I'll put more pressure on the shaman with my interrupt spell, Rebuke.
Fear. Spell lock. Howl of Terror.
We get the lock really low on mana, which is good because he's forced to life tap when he needs mana, which is going to reduce his health pool. And just keeping the pressure on, that's the most important thing when you're facing,
Spell lock.
you know, when you're playing like healer DPS versus a healer DPS. The most important thing is just keep the pressure on. It doesn't even matter really what target you're on. Sometimes one target's a little better
Earth
than
shield.
another, but if you're not making progress on one target, switch to the other. Throughout this whole match, the lock is switching back and forth. As the shaman tries to run away from my Hodges and things like that, he will switch to the lock, and then vice versa.
High DC. Countered.
So here I'm gonna start putting more pressure on the shaman.
Spell lock.
He's not gonna go for whatever reason. He's just not. He's not playing right. He's not casting. I don't know. He's just trying to cast like greater heals the whole time. So pretty easy to interrupt him if I'm within range.
Howl of Terror. Spell lock. Big heal. Fear.
The lock does put out a good amount of damage, but it's really never enough to force us to use a bunch of cooldowns.
Trinketed.
So here you can see the shaman. He's really far away from the lock. I Hodge him back there, and my lock is focusing on their lock.
Big heal. Big heal. Countered.
I was kind of hoping we'd be able to out DPS them, but it's not going to happen.
Nice.
So
Countered.
I pretty much start following around the shaman. I try to get as many interrupts as I possibly can on him. I've got them both really low right now, which is good. You know, if you're not making progress on like a single target, as Affliction, you want to just make sure you're dotting them both up and just keep the damage pumping out. Here I Hodge the shaman, trinkets.
Vanish. Trinketed. Big heal. Countered.
Then he gets feared. Still trying to interrupt him. Got one more interrupt as he gets feared again. He's really low here. So I'm trying to stay on him just to keep him.
Earth shield.
He uses nature swiftness there and heals up.
Big heal.
So lock life taps, and he's already at really low. So we switch to the lock, Hodge the lock up top there, and I run over to kind of try to interrupt again. As you can see, the shaman's not going to try to juke or anything. It's very important to do.
Countered.
Probably can't stress that point enough as a healer. I don't do it that much, only when I'm under like severe pressure. In 2v2, it's not as important as in 3v3. There's just going to be two people trying to interrupt you instead of just one, but
big heal. Countered.
Okay guys, so we're almost at the end here. As you can see, the shaman's running and the lock's basically trying to peel us off. Fast forward a little bit more, the shaman's still running. Not sure why they just didn't give up earlier, but we get him behind the crate, I get an interrupt. And the lock finishes him off finally, and we get the win. So like I said, it was like a 30-some minute match, but you know, sometimes you don't want to leave after you've invested that much time. But thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment, like, and subscribe. Peace out.